Hello, my amazing artists. First step in this assignment is I want you to take those washable markers and create a lot of different marker printed papers. That is because this week we are making a collage with all of the beautiful marker printed papers that you have made. So you'll notice that I did that large sheet first because I actually want to have a whole page for the background of my landscape that we are going to be making. Then I used lots of small pieces of paper and did many different colors to have tons of different papers to choose to cut up when I create my collage. A collage means you cut different sized papers and glue them back together to create a work of art. I waited about 1 hour before I got out the rest of my materials. For this assignment, you will want to have a plain sheet of white paper, all of your beautiful marker printed papers, a glue stick or glue, a pencil. You might also want to have a Sharpie or a black crayon, and you might also want to keep out those markers or get your crayons to add some details to your landscape. Now, if you have paint at home, white paint, or a white oil pastel, you might want to get them out so that you can add some details to your winter landscape. But if you don't have those supplies, it's not a big deal. They are just something a little bit extra to add at the end. Now, we are making a winter landscape, but we are going to be using different shapes to create our landscape. So let's talk about the different types of shapes. The first type of shape we're going to talk about is called the geometric shapes. Geometric shapes are those shapes that you know the names of, and they look the same every time you draw them. Your triangles, circles, squares, rectangles, hearts, diamonds, pentagons, semicircles. There are so many geometric shapes. The word geometry is in the word geometric, and geometry is a type of math where they actually study different types of shapes and they compare shapes to other shapes. The other types of shapes we're going to talk about are organic shapes. Organic shapes don't look the same every time you draw them, and they remind us of nature. So your cloud shapes, your flower shapes, your blobs, your mountain shapes, those are all organic shapes. Think of like organic food, like organic apples. They come from nature too. Before we start our landscape collage, I wanted to show you an artist named Grandma Moses. Yes, her name was Grandma Moses. Do you think that was her real name? Well, I'll tell you, it wasn't. Her real name was actually Anna Mary Moses. But she went by Grandma Moses because she didn't actually start painting until she was about 70 years old. She began painting these beautiful landscapes. What is a landscape, you ask? A landscape is actually a picture of the land. But her landscapes were a little different because she had people in her landscapes, which wasn't really popular to do at the time. She actually had some trouble getting her artwork in museums, but by the end of her life, her paintings became very well known for greeting cards. Look at this beautiful winter landscape. Can you find any geometric or organic shapes in this painting? Look at the top of this church. It's shaped like a triangle. Or this parallelogram. That would be a geometric shape. An organic shape could be this mountain shape or even all these tiny little turkeys down at the bottom. Those would be organic shapes too. For this assignment, I would like for you to make sure that you include 2 geometric shapes and 1 organic shape in your collage. Now, let's get started on making these shape collage winter landscapes. Whew, that sure is a mouthful. To start, you want to have a plain white sheet of paper and your large marker printed paper because you're going to use that for your sky. I start by drawing a wavy line and then cutting across that wavy line, and then I decide which one I want to use for the sky of my background. Then I'm actually going to take the other colors of marker printed paper, and I found this square Lego that I'm actually going to trace to create my geometric shapes. Now I'm going to do 1 geometric shape for the bottom of my house and 1 trapezoid for the roof, but I'm also going to create a barn. You're the artist, so you really get to decide how you want to use your 2 geometric shapes and your 1 organic shape in your artwork. But For my organic shapes, I decided to draw a little green tree, and I also wanted to make a cloud because I was planning on adding some snow. Now again, you're the artist, so as long as you have your 2 geometric shapes and your 1 organic shape, you can really create your landscape however you want. Make sure, though, that you place all of your shapes down on your paper before you start to glue. If you were to cut and then glue right away and you wanted to change your idea, it would be a mistake. So you want to make sure that you have everything just how you like it before you start gluing your pieces together. Once all of your pieces are down, you're going to get to start adding details. I decided that I wanted to add my details using crayon, but again, you're the artist, so you get to make all of those important decisions. I even added some rectangles for doors before I started adding all of my details. And for some of my details, I actually drew it in pencil first so that I made sure that I didn't mess up. I'm not the best at drawing horses, but I decided that because I drew a barn, I did want to add a little horse in there too. The final step in this assignment is if you have paint or white pastel, you can add some snowflakes in the sky using a Q-tip. Or you could even use the back of a pencil or the back of a marker. It's really up to you and what you have at home. Don't forget to sign the bottom of your artwork, and don't forget to send me a picture in Google Classroom. I cannot wait to see your amazing collage landscape masterpieces. Have fun with this, and I'll see you soon.